recall the case of Alice Mack versus Zane to Mr. McHenrick when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. Today, the prosecution brings forth compelling and irrefutable evidence against the defendant, Mr. Zane Pierce, who stands accused of a heinous act, the attempted murder and hostage-taking of government employee Warsim Santos alongside several other offences. The evidence will show that the victim, Mr. Assad, was abducted, interrogated at gunpoint, and ultimately shot in cold blood by an individual wearing a distinctive gold ZT chain. The same individual fled in a black coil Cyclone, later identified as being owned by none other than Mr. Pierce. Roughly 35 minutes after the shooting, Mr. Pierce approached law enforcement, claiming that his vehicle had been stolen after it was already identified as fleeing the scene. He tested positive for gunshot residue with a medium intensity, strongly corresponding to the timing of the incident. He gave a series of inconsistent statements regarding fireworks, his phone, and his whereabouts, which will be dissected during testimony. He later admitted to having a firearm before, despite earlier denying any links to weapons. Your Honour, this case is about accountability. The defendant made a conscious choice to threaten, shoot, and nearly kill a police officer. And now it is time for him to face the full weight of the law. The prosecution will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Zane Pierce is guilty on all charges. Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. McHenrick. Mr. O'Brien, if you
Good evening, Your Honour. My client's on trial today for multiple of serious charges such as attempted murder of a government employee, hostage taken of a government employee, and negligent discharge of a firearm. The prosecution will try and convince you today, Your Honour, that my client is some sort of murderer and some sort of master criminal, and that my client is guilty. But at the end of the day, Your Honour, my client was simply just setting off fireworks at his place of home. Unfortunately, Your Honour, my poor client's vehicle was stolen as well. My client attempted to retrieve his vehicle and walked a long distance from his place of home until the officer standing in front of you today arrested my client with no proper evidence at all, Your Honour. Please listen to all questions and answers given today by the defence will show that Mr. St. Pierce is not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Brien. Obviously, this is the first trial that we have with the new migration of the LS Met into Americans' law and customs. So I have some sort of leniency in this. However, we are to be aware that this is to set a standard going forward for American-style cases. Mr. McHenrick, I'll invite you to proceed with your first witness.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. I would like to call Officer Tim Hawk, please.
Mr. Hawk, if you could approach the stand. Right, thank you very much. Mr. Hawk, if you could repeat after me. I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you very much. Mr. McHenrick, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honour. Thank you, Officer Hawk. Officer Hawk, can you please describe the condition you found Mr. Assad in when you arrived on scene?
Yes, Mr. Assad was in a really bad state. He was unconscious at the time, but as I was packing his wounds, he came around, and then I just told him to just don't talk, just try and relax. He was just trying to hold his wounds in at the moment because he was bleeding quite badly. He'd been shot multiple times and left at the side of the hill of the mountain where I found him.
Thank you, and I understand this is a distressing time, having seen one of your colleagues being shot. After transporting him to MRPD, what did Mr. Assad tell you about the incident?
He mentioned to me that there were. I asked him basically what he can remember from the scene. Obviously, I know it was quite daunting on him, and he was just trying to get flashbacks of what went on. All he managed to tell me was there was a black in colour Cyclone with the plate IRA in it, and obviously I did my research and then found that vehicle belonging to Mr. Zane Pierce.
Thank you very much. How did you come into contact with the defendant after the incident?
He came to MRPD asking for his vehicle that apparently had been stolen. And obviously I just happened to be there. Obviously just finished talking to Mr. Assad in an interview room after he'd actually come around and seen the doctors.
Thank you. And what did Mr. Pierce tell you regarding his vehicle?
He said his vehicle had been stolen, and then at that point, I had compelling evidence to suggest that he was the one that shot Mr. Assad, so I then arrested him.
Thank you. And what were the results of his GSR test?
They was medium intensity.
Okay, and in your professional opinion, what does a medium intensity GSR show?
Medium intensity GSR shows that a firearm has been used in the space of a time, probably about 30 minutes after you shoot someone. You probably would about medium, probably would have worn off your clothes with the wind and stuff.
Thank you. And how long after you found Mr. Assad did Mr. Pierce arrive at MRPD?
About 35 minutes.
Lovely. Thank you. Did Mr. Pierce provide valid explanation for why his vehicle was involved in a shooting?
It's a negative no. All he mentioned that he was in his apartment just setting off fireworks with the boys, and he walked down to MRPD to get his vehicle.
In his apartment? That seems like a dangerous fire hazard.
Yeah.
During the interview, did the defendant give any consistent answers regarding his whereabouts?
No, he just kept on saying that he was setting off fireworks around his compound with the lads. That was all.
Thank you. And at any point, did the defendant admit to holding a firearm?
No, he said he'd never used a firearm before, ever.
Thank you, Mr. Hawke. No further questions, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. McKendrick. Mr. O'Brien, you may cross-examine. should you wish.
Yes. Hello, Tim Hawke. How you doing?
Hello, Mr. O'Brien.
So you stated within your statement you was the first on the scene. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Perfect. Did you collect any DNA evidence of my client's DNA being on scene?
That's a negative. There was no DNA found. There was only shell casings and blood from Mr. Assad.
I see. How many people would you say within your professional experience as an officer would be in the ZT organisation?
I'm not too sure at this current time, but usually there can be around 12 people.
I see. So there could be anyone wearing a ZT chain, correct?
Yeah, I could say so.
Fair enough. How many minutes would you say it would take to walk for approximately from the ZT compounds to the police station?
I'm unsure. I've not walked it myself.
Okay. Could it be possible that my client was setting off fireworks?
Well, there was officers around the area, myself included, driving up around by Hayes. I know that's where the ZT compound is, and we didn't hear any fireworks go off.
Okay. Is there any reason on to why Mr. Assad didn't write a statement himself on the case?
He was traumatized. He'd just been shot, obviously. I didn't really want him to sit down and write a statement with him being so heavily injured. You know, I was able to talk to him while he was getting treatment from the doctor, but that was it. I told him to take it easy, go and rest up, and when he feels comfortable, then I can get him to write a statement.
I see. So do you have any pictures of my client being on scene at the shots fired when you arrived?
There was no one else on scene. It was just
No one else on
Mr.
scene.
Assad in a pile on the floor.
Okay, no worries. And overall, do you have any pictures of my client's vehicle?
That's a negative. No, there was no. As I said, there was no one on scene.
I see, but in general as well. Any picture of my client's vehicle taken at a time?
Nope, there was no vehicle on scene.
Okay, no, it's all good. Do you have any DNA on my client over the whole case after you attended the shots fired, not just at the shots fired scene?
Objection, Your Honour. This is asked and answered.
No, it isn't, Your Honour. I asked if he collected evidence. I'm now asking if he has any evidence. It's different. This is a question.
Your Honour, it comes down to the same question.
I'm going to sustain Mr. McKendrick's objection. Please ask the next question.
No good. Final question for you, Tim Hawke. So all you have is a GSR test on my client, correct?
That's not all we have, but yes, we have a GSR.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Brien. You may be seated. Mr. Hawke, you may be seated. Mr. McKendrick, do you have any further witnesses?
Your Honour, however, it looks like his head pops at the moment. If we could request a short continuance.
Yeah, of course. We'll take a short recess until he's back. It shouldn't take too long.
Thank you very much,
I'll
Your
just
Honour.
remain on
Yeah, John.
Right, okay. Turns out it's not code zero, so we're just continuing. Accountant, do you have any further evidence or witnesses?
Evidence submitted in evidence submission, Your Honour. No further witnesses after that one.
Thank you very much. You may rest. Mr. O'Brien, do you have any witnesses or evidence you wish to submit?
Yes, Your Honour, I'd like to call my client, St. Pierce, to the stand.
Yeah, Mr. Pierce, you approach the stand. The
Go on,
witness
stand.
please, Mr. Pierce.
Up there?
Yes, please. Make sure you're shouting as well for the
Yeah,
court. Okay, Mr. Pierce, if you could repeat after me. I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
Oh my god. Truly declare
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I should give
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Can you just make sure you're shouting for the court? 'Cause I am struggling. I'm struggling to hear.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierce, you've given an oath there. That means that you cannot lie under oath. If you're found to be lying under oath, you'll be charged with perjury. Mr. O'Brien, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honour. Good evening, Zane. How are you?
I'm alright.
Perfect. Can you explain to me what you was doing before you was arrested by Officer Tim Hawke at the police station?
I was just at my apartment. I came out with fireworks outside. Let some fireworks off and that's about it.
Fair enough. And I understand you walked to the police station, so how far would you say it would take for you to walk to the police station from your home?
Maybe 40 so minutes. Maybe a bit longer.
I see. And what was the reason onto why you were setting off fireworks?
Easter. Celebrating the Easter holidays.
I see. Lots of chocolates, to be fair. Sorry, going off track, Your Honour. So why did you not contact the police with your phone, if I may ask?
My phone was dead in the house, and I went to get a charger from my car. Realised the car wasn't there, and I just came to the police station, left my phone in the house.
Oh, I see. Nobody had to walk. So overall, Zane, how did you feel when the officers arrested you at the police station when you was just trying to help them get your vehicle?
I was confused. I didn't even know what was going on. I just came down to try and see if they could see my car, and I got arrested.
Fair enough. All good. No further questions, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Brien. You may rest. Mr. McKendrick, you may cross-examine.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. Mr. Pierce, when did you first notice your vehicle was missing?
I'd say maybe 10 or so minutes after lighting the fireworks. Went to get a charger for my phone.
Okay, no worries. And why did you wait for approximately 35 minutes after shooting was reported to report it stolen?
I just woke up.
Right, okay. If your phone was truly dead, which you say it is, why would you not alert somebody on your walk to MRPD or borrow their phone?
Didn't see nobody there.
You're telling me on the entire walk from the ZT compound to MRPD you saw not one person?
No, I didn't see anybody there.
Can you explain how your vehicle ended up in the scene of a government employee being shot?
As I said, my car was stolen, mate.
Okay. Roughly what time were you setting off these fireworks?
I don't know. Maybe 20 or so minutes after I woke up.
Okay. Can you name any witnesses who saw or heard these fireworks?
Just the people that was there, like in the compound. Some of the boys that was there.
Yes, you've not answered my question, Mr. Pierce.
Like Bob, Max, Kate. A couple people there that seen it.
A couple of people who conveniently aren't in court. Did any officer patrolling the area confirm hearing any fireworks?
No, said I didn't see none.
Okay. You were GSR tested. Do you recall what the result was?
What
When you were GSR tested, do you recall what the result was?
It was medium intensity.
Okay, and how do you account for that medium intensity GSR?
Because I was lit fireworks off me.
I'm not your mate.
Sorry.
In your interview, you said you'd never held a gun. Later, you admitted you have literally once. Which of those is true?
Well, one of the officers, after the ZT compound raid, I was running away, and one of your officers had threatened to shoot me while I had no gun in my hand or anything. So, in self-defense, I had shot back.
Just contradicted yourself again, Mr. Pierce. Why would Mr. Assad falsely identify your car and your chain if you weren't the person that shot him?
Don't know that. My car was there, it must have been. If you recall, you somehow got my license plate. It wasn't me.
When you were asked why you didn't report your vehicle stolen immediately, your excuse was dead phone, but again you walked all the way to the station. Why didn't you report it immediately?
I was just supposed to report it, man, if my phone's dead. I can't call any of the I can't call PD.
You were presented a clear timeline contraindications regarding the fireworks, your vehicle's involvement. Do you have anything to do you have nothing to say about that? No further questions, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. McHenry. Give me a rest. Mr. Pierce, you may be seated. Mr. O'Brien, do you have any further witnesses or evidence you wish to submit?
No, Your Honour.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. McHenry, if you could approach for your closing statement.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. The facts are clear, evidence is overwhelming. Zane Pierce's vehicle was leaving the scene of a violent shooting. He matched the suspect description. He approached police in a conveniently timed car theft story. His GSR results align with the timeline of the crime. He failed to provide a credible alibi, contradicting himself in multiple ways and again on the stand, and eventually admitted to firearm possession despite initially denying it. Mr. Assad was targeted and shot in what appears to be retaliation from a previous police raid, and all signs point to Mr. Pierce as the shooter. His statement under caution further cements this, especially when challenged on inconsistencies he could not explain. There is no reasonable doubt left in this case, Your Honour. We ask the court return a verdict of guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. McHenry. Give me a rest. Mr. O'Brien, with your closing statement.
Thank you, Your Honour. Today, defence has proven all we can to show that my client, Mr. Zane Pierce, was just taking a nice walk in the city, Your Honour, of Los Santos, to report his vehicle being stolen, Your Honour, until he arrived to and got wrongly arrested. The evidence provided by the prosecution tonight is poor and right justice should be shown tonight, Your Honour. No valid evidence is provided of my client even being on scene at the crime being committed. You may ask, what is the evidence they have? A GSR test? Like said, the defence has proven that Mr. Zane Pierce's car was stolen and that my client was just taking a nice walk to the police station to report it stolen. Please do the right thing, Your Honour. No clear evidence of my client being shown by the prosecution today, even being on scene at the call. My client was just taking a very nice walk. Pictures of my client? No. Pictures of my client's vehicle? No. DNA evidence of my client? No. Shows how poor the evidence is, Your Honour. Please do the right thing and see my client as not guilty. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Court will be in recess for, I'm going to call 10 minutes on this, so we'll re-revene at 19:36.
Saw an house popped up and I forgot the
Just right up your street, I reckon.
Kelly and Murphy and all, yeah.
Right, court is back in session. Mr. Zaid, if you could approach the main stand at the front there. In the matter of Ellis Met versus Zane Pierce, the court has reviewed all testimony, evidence, and arguments presented by both prosecution, McHenry, and defence, O'Brien. The case resolves around an attempted murder of a government employee, the illegal or negligent discharge of a firearm, criminal possession of a Class 0 weapon, and an alleged hostage taking of an officer. These are serious allegations that carry significant weight, and they demand evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Let us be clear, the court has taken note of the prosecution's case, including the officer's statements, the matching vehicle found at the scene, and the positive GSR on Mr. Pierce. However, the defendant's claims that the vehicle was stolen, a claim in which, while made after the fact, has not been definitively disproven. More importantly, there is no direct forensic evidence placing the defendant at the scene. No DNA, no fingerprints, no direct witness visually identifying Mr. Pierce specifically as the shooter. While the gunshot residue result is concerning, the defense has argued that the fireworks were being used earlier in that day. Whether or not that fully explains the GSR result, the lack of corroborating physical evidence such as a firearm used or the recovery of any personal defects of Mr. Pierce on the scene of the crime leaves a gap in the prosecution's case. This court is not tasked with deciding what is probable, but it is provable. What is provable beyond a reasonable doubt. Therefore, I will charge Mr. Pierce with the following. On the charge of 1-2-3-3 attempted murder of government employee ×1, you'll be found not guilty. 1903 negligent discharge of a firearm ×1, you'll be found not guilty. 1909 criminal possession of a Class 0 weapon, you will be found guilty. And Penal Code 1227 hostage taking of a government employee, you will be found not. In the time that you've spent on tag, you will face 0 time. However, you will have to pay the financial penalty. I do believe you already paid a 50% fee of what you were supposed to be charged. The current fine stands at £5,000, so if we can maybe do the maths on what he's currently paid, what he's due to pay, that'd be perfect. You're not shouting, so I can't really hear you, Mr. Pierce.
No, I have I have the thing here.
It's fine.
I paid £10,350.
Okay, so you'll be due $5,350 back.
NSJ secondary.
I'll order
Anybody
the court
available?
to remove
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead.
Pierce's tag, and he'll be charged with the, or he'll have to have the fee returned. So court adjourned.